What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. So before I get into the real topics, I want to circle back on something that I talked about last week or maybe the week before. Me and my friend went down to the Red Lobster. Okay, this was number one on the list of topics. I have got to report back. We went down to the Red Lobster. I told y'all I was gonna go down to the Red Lobster and report back what I found out. Okay. Now, in case y'all missed it, the Red Lobster has a black CEO. He's a black millennial CEO. Okay, young brother, he out there trying to he got Red Lobster up out of bankruptcy because apparently y'all was running it into the ground with the endless shrimp. I do know people who probably to blame for that because y'all know what people do. Y'all know what the aunties and uncles be doing when they go to the Red Lobster. They get the endless shrimp. This is what they was doing. They was getting the endless shrimp and having a couple of the dishes at the restaurant, but they were ordering 4 or 5 plates of additional endless shrimp, then asking for a to-go box. They was boxing it up and taking it home. The endless shrimp is supposed to be enjoyed at the restaurant. Now, listen, when I went when they had the endless shrimp, I was taking something to go as well. I did ask for extra side of the shrimp pasta and the fried shrimp, the Waltz fried. Hey, I'm just saying, the black CEO done got them out of bankruptcy and he added new menu items. One in particular were the seafood boils. Some people, if you're not in certain cities, like major cities, y'all probably don't have like there's seafood boil specific restaurants where you go just for that. They have other things on the menu, but essentially it's just tables full of that paper, everybody wearing the bibs and the plastic gloves and getting into it with they pounds of shrimp with potatoes and everything, corn inside. So I wanted to see what was up. I'm not too proud to go to Red Lobster. People be clowning. They was clowning like, why you going to Red Lobster? We live in LA. You can have seafood. I know, but I'm supporting and I'm doing it for the conversation. Okay. I'm going for the conversation. I was off last week. I had some time, so I went down. Now I will say this. One, it's expensive as hell. I I got the seafood with the mariner's boil. That was the one with the lobster tails. It was 2 lobster tails, some crab legs, shrimp, potato in there. There is another one where it is shrimp, potato, and sausage and corn. I got the one with the lobster because if I'm here, I'm gonna do it. But it was really expensive, and to the point where it was almost the same price, or maybe a little bit more than other seafood boil places. Okay. They also had their selection between sauces. There was like a Cajun one, like an Old Bay Cajun, garlic butter, and so on. The sauces at regular seafood boil places are better because it's more juice and sauce in the bag. It's more flavorful. These at Red Lobster, if you've never had a seafood boil, you probably wouldn't notice, but the flavor could have been better. But overall, my lobster tails weren't overcooked. The crab legs were decent. I've learned I'm too old for crab legs. I am too old to be busting open some crab legs at the table. I am too old for that. One flew out my hand and hit the floor. Like I just don't. I had crab juice all over. Like y'all, I am too old for that. But all in all, I would rate the seafood boil bag as someone who gets seafood boil bags from other places. Because every time I go down to the movies over there in Burbank, from AMC, I go across the street, get me a crab boil, take it home, and enjoy it from the comfort of my own couch. I will rate the Red Lobster Mariner's Boil a 6.8 out of 10. 6.8 out of 10. And I'm rating it that because I have a lot to compare it to. Okay. If you live somewhere and you've never had it, I encourage people just to get it, to try it, just to say you've tried it. It may taste different in other cities because sometimes people be trying to jazz it up with the seasoning, but I'm gonna give it a 6.8 out of 10. Will I be getting it again? No. I had it. It was cool. I'm just gonna get my regular stuff. Okay. Whenever I go visit somewhere and all they got is the Red Lobster, and somebody be like, "Hey, you want to go to the one of aunties? You want to go to Red Lobster?" Sure, I am going to get the like ultimate combination where you can select either 2 or 3 items. I'm gonna get the Waltz fried shrimp scampi and or the shrimp pasta, and I'm gonna get my rolls. I'm gonna get my biscuits. I will say too, it wasn't even enough sauce in the bag to dunk the biscuit. I told you I was gonna hit them with the biscuit dunk. Gonna take the biscuit, break it in half, open up the bowl bag, bow, hit the biscuit in the bag, sauce, and then eat it. It wasn't even enough sauce to dunk the biscuit. Usually the bags be hella juicy. It just, yeah, it was fine. But yeah, I tried it. Feel free to try. Let me know, or if y'all have already tried it. I did not get like the sangria floats because there weren't the sangria ones wasn't on our menu. I saw the commercial and the TikTok about the sangria float. Baby, it wasn't no sangria on that menu. I didn't see it at all. I saw the margarita float, and I went for lunchtime. That would have been too much getting 3 margaritas. Hey, Auntie, don't be really drinking like that no more. It was too. It would have been too much. But I tried, okay? I tried. So y'all don't have to or y'all can. Support the black CEO, help a brother out. Yeah, we and and show support that way. But if y'all want, let me know what you thought about the experience, okay? Let me know. You can find me at Canelia on social media. There is now what appears to be or sounds like a concentration camp in Florida now. Y'all, I say that I keep saying this and we be on here talking and everybody's having conversations about it, but it's just so crazy to know that you are living in a historical time. Like it is so to just think about it. We are literally going to be the subject of history classes and case studies, trials, court cases for in years to come. We are literally living in that moment. And we already have been. I said on here before, I feel like from Columbine until now, is quite the tale when it comes to American history. And I'm not negating anything that happened before that because America was founded on the blood and the backs of people who were stolen or natives who were slaughtered, okay? Like we know that history. But right now, this modern history, baby, they going to be cooking us in history class. They're going to be cooking us. They literally going to be like, why didn't they just do something different? Why did they do that, child? Because people be stupid. Okay, they be stupid. They be stupid, stupid, stupid. Okay, and I'm not making light of this. I'm just trying to find a way to get through. Okay, we're coping at this point. But what is known as alligator Alcatraz, which I thought was a joke name, apparently that's the name, which is straight clownery. Okay, at its best. But in Florida, Dade County, in the Everglades, there was what they're calling a migrant camp, but we know what it is, was built within days, not a sound structure, already flooding, but it is designed to house illegal immigrants. It's in a remote location surrounded by alligators and pythons. The big beautiful bill, which is the big bullshit bill, was passed the last week, and within it there is an additional, I think I read somewhere, $100 billion added to the ICE budget. We don't have that many illegal immigrants in this country where you would need $100 billion. So y'all know what that means. These migrant camps and these centers, these prisons, I read somewhere that the prison stocks have risen 60% over the last week or so. Yo, who do they think? Who do y'all think they trying to put up in here? And before I continue on, I know we like to romanticize what we would do and what we would have done in times of like situations like this, or if something happened to me, what would I do? But I've been really sitting with, what would we do if somebody we were just walking in the parking lot of at the mall, just going in to grab a couple things, and people in masks, unidentified, pulled up, jumped out the car, grabbed us, and tried to throw us in the back of the car and detain us. What would we do? What would we do if that happened? We tried to fight, we couldn't get away, and then they threw us in a microwave. What would we do if we ended up in a concentration camp? Because Alligator Alcatraz is a concentration camp. Let's not make no mistake. Sound up the alarms. People be on social media. You're trying to fear monger. No, we're here. It's literally in the history books. Go read about Germany. People, but what will we do? Because in some people's cases, it may get to that. You know, I'm at the extreme. I don't think there's gonna be no more elections. Like, I think this is it. But hey, we'll see how it plays out. But one of my points with this is just to make sure that everybody is aware of what's happening. I also really think, because the way history plays out, history repeats itself. It may not repeat itself in the same location and place, but with the same people, but it does. On Netflix, there is a documentary about this man named Ivan the Terrible. He was accused of being one of the Nazi guards who was at one of the camps where the Jewish citizens, Jewish people, were being unalived during the Holocaust. This man, and allegedly, because in the documentary, the whole time he was saying it wasn't him. His family was saying it wasn't him, but eyewitness testimony, the government in Germany, they were like, this is him. This man left Germany after the Holocaust, moved to like Ohio or somewhere, was working a regular job, started a regular old life, and when he was like 80, 90 some years old, they found his ass, yanked him up, took him back to overseas, and put that man on trial. That's gonna be people involved in this. And I said it because they're hiring people. Have been posting on TikTok that they're posting jobs about Alligator Alcatraz. They need guards and they need nurses and medical staff. Baby, y'all better not work at that facility. You better not work at that facility. I know people need jobs, but in this case, history has told us, if you are around, if you are adjacent, if you are involved, people gonna be going down. Do not work there. You better not take that job. I'm trying to tell you, Ivan the Terrible, they went and got Ivan ass. And can you, and this is, and then, let me jump back a couple beats real quick. Cause this is what I be talking about. And I'm just rambling now, but I feel like, again, this is something that I brought up, but I want to call back in. There's this mythical idea that when bad things like this happen, that everybody involved or that was complicit or supported it or excited about bad behavior, once shit hit the fan, that they magically changed their heart and minds. Oh, the Holocaust is over. You know what? I no longer dislike people, Jewish people. Oh, slavery is over. I no longer think that black people are beneath me. Oh, Jim Crow is over. I no longer think it was great to lynch people. No, that doesn't happen. That does not happen. People just shut their mouths in public about it, but they take that shit in house. And so after everything that happened in Germany, a lot of people who fled to America, they weren't just the people scared for their lives. It was people who was trying to hide from all the shit that they did. They came over here as well, which in my opinion has festered and fed into the hatred within this country. It's a bunch of Ivan the Terribles that came over here and were quiet about it. So for us, I specifically am saying this because I want us to stop, or whoever does this, wondering or talking about, I hope they regret their decisions. I hope people who voted for him feel bad. They're never going to feel bad. They're never going to regret their decision. Some people just want bad shit to happen to other people. Some people are bad. Some people are evil. They're not going to regret it. When people start getting put in them concentration camps, the same way they were put in concentration camps in Germany, they didn't care. And when the war ended and they found out what was happening in the concentration camps, they didn't care. They just moved on, got them a regular old job, got married, had kids, and kept going on with the bull. They didn't care, guys. So I just wanted to call that back in. But overall, um, we all, for the sake of community, will be following the updates because I feel like this is not the only facility like this that's going to be built. Yeah, it's about to get crazy. Let me know your thoughts about it though. Like, you can find me at Cornelia on social media. So there's a lot of discourse happening right now on social media about Essence Festival. Essence Festival has been going on for many, many years. Y'all know it is the Black music festival in this country, located in New Orleans, Louisiana. I've only went one time. That time I was in Houston, and every year, y'all know I get on here talking about I want to go to Essence Festival. But for some reason this year, and I know what that ain't for some reason, baby, I had to pick and choose what activities that I was gonna go to this year in this looming bad economy. But this year I was like, I wasn't really tripping. But also, I remembered maybe the top of June or realized I hadn't heard anything, saw any social media push, marketing, anything about Essence Festival. I got on threads and said something, and one girl responded and was like, "Oh, yeah, I've seen a little couple things. Here's the lineup." Outside of her, I did not see any promotion for Essence Festival, which was so weird to me because y'all know it'd be a big push. Huge push. People are also complaining because they announced the performers lineup late, but we'll get to that in a second. Now, for me, I did not participate again because of the publicity, but I bought Cowboy Carter tickets and that was plenty. Okay. I can't do everything. Some people can, but I can't do everything. But people were at the festival this year, citing a lack of vendor participation because y'all know the halls are usually packed with vendors. People were saying the stadiums weren't as packed as they were in the past. People were complaining about the performers. People were even saying and having issues with the messaging, saying that Essence is leaning or moving away from being Black American specific in regards to culture, but to a global Black presence and not just focused on one group or demographic of people. So let's get into a lot of that. One, people were, saying, maybe we should switch up the locations or maybe we should turn it into a cruise. It's had its run. It's too big. It's the same old thing. You can't get new artists. Y'all, it is very difficult maintaining a festival of this magnitude for years and years and years, especially in a changing landscape of music. Essence Festival started originally and had what we would consider auntie and uncle music. But as generations grow and change, you had to diversify and switch up the types of performers that will be there. Now, our legends are leaving us. And the new regime is a lot different from the old regime, meaning we don't have many R&B, hip hop stars that could do Essence Festival that have a big enough draw to get people out to fill a stadium, to want to come to New Orleans, spend all of that money, hotel, food, ticket, all of this for them. And that's no shade to anybody, but it's one thing for you to have a festival weekend with the Isley Brothers, Charlie Wilson, Jill Scott, and then another with Glorilla, Lucky Day. It's just a different clientele and it's a different draw. So I think not just Essence, But us as consumers, music consumers, and people in the industry as well, needs to start having a conversation and really have some thoughtful discussions about how to maintain the the credibility of the festival with which artists can we pull on and tap to maintain the Essence Music Festival brand and credibility and reputation. Another thing that people were saying, they were talking about the shift away from Black American culture to all Black people within the diaspora. Personally, stuff like that does not bother me. I understand the conversation though, because Essence was founded as a place where Black women specifically could get information, could be celebrated, could be seen and boosted up in a media landscape that was not designed for us. It just wasn't. Essence, Jet, Ebony, those were for us. But I think one thing that is challenging to do, which I want people to start considering, whether you are on the side of keeping it just Black American culture or globalizing it, we are in a global landscape now. We are connected more than we ever been. Essence Music Festival couldn't be global back when it was started in those initial years because we weren't globally connected. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just stating the facts that it was literally impossible for that to happen before. And global music wasn't what it is today. It was there with globally, but not for us. It just hadn't arrived here. So those conversations to me about keeping it one way or branching out, honestly, I don't know the solve for that, but I don't know how you avoid that. I don't know how you avoid that. And I don't know, based on conversations that I have had with people I know, I don't know if that is the top concern for people about Essence to make them choose whether they go or don't go. I just don't. I just don't know. But another thing that keep coming up was pricing. It is very expensive to go to Essence Festival. I hear people from back talking, the people who used to go back in the day keep bragging like, child, I used to do the whole weekend for $500. Girl, where? They talking about hotel, tickets, food. Baby, you can't get nothing for $500. If you get the 3-pack of ticket 3 nights, you'll be up in the nosebleeds maybe 500. Okay. Hotel, no. You spending $1,000 minimum on hotel, flight, concert tickets, food, outfits. You dropping $3,000 to $4,000 to go to Essence Festival. It is very expensive. And a lot of that is not something that can be avoided. We don't dictate airline pricing. We don't set hotel prices. They be gouging. But that is a major factor because it's with this, listen, with the economy and some people just ain't going to be able to afford to go, which is going to make it look like people aren't interested in the festival, which is going to continue to have the conversation being in a negative light about it, when in some cases, people would love to go. They just can't pay for it. So that's a major factor. But another one is also sponsors. A big conversation this year is when people found out that Target was sponsoring Essence Festival. Y'all know, as Black people, there is a national boycott around Target. They reported the shares down. Shout out to CEO. Tried to talk to Al Sharpton and them. But what also happened is Target, and this came out this weekend, have been tapping Black influencers to come to the Target activations. They flew them down to Essence. Black people on social media talking about, I'm an influencer for Target, and I don't care what y'all say. I don't care about the boycott. Child, what? Which isn't surprising to me because y'all know I mentioned on here before. Everybody wasn't in the bus boycott. We definitely need to get our minds around or away from the idea that everybody got a boycott. It would be nice. But y'all just look at Martin and them. Everybody wasn't boycotting the bus. Everybody did march to Washington. Some of y'all's aunties and uncles thought that they was crazy for doing that and should have just shut up and took it. Everybody ancestors wasn't on the front lines. I want us to start being realistic when we be like, our ancestors marched. No, baby, your ancestor didn't march. Their ancestor marched. Your ancestor didn't like Martin because she thought he was sedity. Okay. Your ancestors thought Coretta thought she was all that because she was light skinned and they didn't support the movement. But they ancestors was on the front lines at the lunch counter. I think we need to start making it clear. So everybody ain't gonna be bound down with the boycott for Target. But y'all ain't gotta be bragging about breaking the boycott. Maybe it's because I'm a union. I'm a part of a union, and my parents were a part of a union. You don't break the you don't cross the picket line. You don't be no strike breaker. One thing you ain't gonna do is be a strike breaker. You a scab. Like you a scab? Like come on now. I get needing to feed your family, but you a scab? Mm, I just girl, you a scab. So that was the thing. But one thing that I want to point out too, because I haven't seen this question answered, and I'm not sticking up for Essence or Target in this. I'm just wondering if this is the case. Sometimes when you have major corporate sponsors within your contract, there is a term. There are terms within those contracts, and there are years usually added on to that. And if you break the terms of those contracts, you have to pay. So this was not confirmed. Nobody chimed in. Nobody has been talking about this. But I'm wondering, and I'm maybe trying to give Essence the benefit of the doubt, if they had to continue on with the Target sponsorship because they was locked in one of them contracts. Because again, a lot of times corporate sponsors, it'd be okay. You get the 3-year sponsorship. You get a $500. You get $500 a 3-year sponsorship. Not saying this is what it was, but I'm just giving y'all an example. That includes multiple activations at Essence Festival. That includes money for influencer being flown in and out. That includes merch. That includes social media pushes. That includes all of these things. That could have been the case. And if it was, baby Target was going to be there because I don't think Essence got money to be paying up like that. I just don't. But who knows if that was even the case? But it's a question worth asking. But in general, it sounds like consumers are upset. It sounds like there is some discrepancies or a disconnect between the influencer experience, red carpet VIP stuff, secret passcode events versus general public going and what they deal with and what they participate in. It sounds like it's some conversations people mad about leadership, direction, and also performers. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I do think though, as long as we are in this these trying economic times, I don't think people are gonna be going. And I hope that doesn't deter Essence or causes it to shift or shut down. I just think for the time being, they just gonna have to try something new or figure something out. And also, they need to market it because again, I didn't know about it until June. But let me read the lineup and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so Friday there was Maxwell, Glorilla, Babyface, the Isley Brothers, Lauryn Hill. And Siren, I don't know how you pronounce that. People were complaining because, like I said, Lauryn Hill went on stage to like 2:30 a.m. in the morning. Child auntie and them had to get into bed. People were blaming Lauryn Hill, but that wasn't the case. They were saying the whole night started late, so it wasn't her fault. Saturday, it was like a Philly John celebration type of thing. They had Jill Scott, Jasmine Sullivan, Patti LaBelle, David O, Erykah Badu, Buju Banton, Molly, and Donnell Jones. Listen, y'all, listen. Jill, you had me at Jill, Jasmine, Patty, and Erica. Sunday, there was Boys to Men, Nas, Master P with special guests, and Dougie Fresh. Also saw Robert Glasper, I believe, or was it not Robert, Adam Blackstone? I think that's his name. Who curated a like celebration of Waiting to Excel and had performers singing songs from the soundtrack. That looked really cool and interesting also. Super Lounge, people saying they now charge for the Super Lounge, we used to be free back in the day, but Lucky Day, Donnell Jones, Money Long were there. And in that tribute, it was Jermaine Dupri created a tribute to Quincy Jones, and it had Tyrese, Robin Thicke, Albie Short, Escape, MC Light, Farside, Mobb Deep, SWV. Master P had Mia X. Listen, y'all know I used to love me some Mia X. Best rapper at No Limit. Mia X was the best rapper at No Limit. And I'll fight you on that one. Silk the Shocker, Bone Thugs, and Harmony, Drew Hill. Now, let me also add before I wrap this up. They usually stream it live. I didn't see no live streaming links. It wasn't on YouTube, theessence.com. It wasn't on Hulu. To me, that should be a lot of where the push should be. Because the past 2-3 years, I watched it at home, baby, was having a good old time. Okay, having a good old time. Heard people getting cussed out on the hot mic last year. I was having a good time. But overall, they got some conversations that they need to be having. What do y'all think about it? Did y'all go this year? Do y'all know anyone who went this year? And if so, what are your thoughts or solutions that could help Essence and within the next year or two? Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts. You can find me at Canelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we talked about my trip over down to the Red Lobster to try the new seafood boil that arrived on the menu. I discussed Alligator Alcatraz, which is a new concentration camp that has been built in Florida. And also talked about Essence Festival and all of the conversations that's been happening around it on social media. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none. And I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Canelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is canelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.